Welcome to another Clarity Media puzzle solving video. Today we're going to be solving a tracks puzzle, and you can find a tracks puzzle every day on our website clarity-media.com, along with lots of other puzzle types such as Codewords, word searches, star battles, Sudoku, etc., all completely free and updated every day to have a new puzzle. With that bit said, I'll move on to the rules of the tracks puzzle and then I'll start to solve. So tracks is a logic puzzle played in the grid, and the rules are a little more complex than some puzzles, so worth memorizing before you begin, or at least thinking about them a lot. Don't just jump right in and expect to solve this puzzle instantly. But the rules are: you must make a single unbroken track from A to B, which can only turn at right angles. So you can see that the pieces I have available here are all either straight lines or right angled lines. It doesn't have to pass through every square, but there must be track in as many pieces of track in each row and column as the numbers around the edge of the grid say. So because there's a 1 here, I know there's only one piece of track in this column, and I can instantly say, well, that means all of these pieces, all these squares can be marked as blank. The red dot indicates blank. The cross here is used to remove a mark. And the way to go forward is to essentially count and see what possible combinations you can have with these numbers and whittle it down to 1. So, for instance, I start off by thinking there's got to be 5 pieces here. Currently, there's only 1, but this has to be like that because otherwise that piece would not, it can't be any of the other ways, like because that would go off into the void. For instance, that's not allowed. So this has to be like that. Oh, not like that. This has to be like that, and then we have 1, 2, 3 pieces. We have 3 pieces already accounted for, so we need 2 more in play. But you can see that this one has to travel straight forward like that, because if it were to go upwards, it would either have to join and make a separate loop, which isn't permitted by the rules of the puzzle, or it would have to just kind of disconnect entirely, and that also isn't permitted. So I'll delete those, and you can see it has to go horizontally. We have 1, 2, 3. 2 pieces to account for in this bottom row. And because there are only 2 pieces, and we know one of them is there already, one of them has to be there, we couldn't have anything like this going in and out because that requires the 2 pieces minimum, which means I can use the dot to mark off these as impossible. Not that one. These 2 are impossible, means these 2 are required, and to get to those, we're going to have to go along and then turn at a corner. Excellent. Now, moving onwards, 4 pieces in this row. We've got 1. We know there's going to be a second one there and a third one there, which means there's only 1 more to account for. And how do we do this? Maybe we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I keep making this mistake. Every time I attempt this puzzle, because I have to admit this is the second attempt, I really failed the first time, but I make this counting mistake, which is 1, 2, 3, and then this has to be a 4th one, this blank square. So actually, that, and that can all be marked as blank, which allows me to put that one there, and a corner piece there, which means therefore this one has to go up. I'm not sure if it turns yet, but I can work that out by saying, well, there are 7 pieces of track in this row, and there are only 7 blank squares, so there has to be a piece in this blank square, and therefore, for it to form part of the track, it has to be a corner piece like that, which then means it has to join like that and like that. This one also has to be a corner piece, and therefore has to join on like that. And here, it's not so clear what happens here. I think we can safely say that I think we can safely say that is a corner piece, which means both of these have to be got at, and the question is it like that? Or is it, on the other hand, is it like this? I don't think we necessarily have the tools yet to determine that, so I'll leave that in place. Move on to the next 7. So there's 1 blank square somewhere along here. There's 4 here, and we've already got 4, so that can be deleted like so. Another 7, so a 7 column, so there's something in every single one of these too. And that means if there's one in every single one of these, then we've got 1, 2 there for certain. As you can see, tracks is really quite a tricky puzzle. Because I think what I want to do is if I were to turn like that, 3 as well, so 1 there, at least 1 there. I think this 7 is probably the key to making further progress. That has to be part of it somehow at the very top. The question I think we have to ask ourselves is this part of the puzzle or not? Because it's 7, we can't be sure yet that corner piece has to be there. It could be a blank. There is 1 blank here, and if we can work it out, we should be on track. Well, is it here? I suppose it could be there. It's not that one. We know that, so that's a piece of track. And that's a piece of track. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 certain pieces of track. Let me think. I may have to contemplate this a bit so you don't get bored by just watching me staring at the screen. But I'll have that contemplation and be back in just a moment.